When you retire, do you really want to be surrounded by so much stuff? Room after room after room of stuff and clutter everywhere. Where you walk into the house and there's piles on the kitchen counter and it's screaming to you, put me away. You walk into the den and you look around and there's piles of stuff everywhere. And so what do? We just close the door behind us thinking, another day, just another day. And meanwhile, it's in there screaming at us. We hear it in our minds. You've still got stuff to do. Put me away. We walk into the garage and we can hardly even get our car in if we can because of the stuff everywhere. And it screams at us from room to room to room. Our stuff, our clutter is screaming at us. What do we do about it? We tell it to hush. We hush the room. I am Gwen Rutz, and I am resetting my life, preparing for retirement. Listen, when I retire, I don't want to have all this stuff to deal with. I want to be free. I want to be able to go where I want to go, do what I want to do without this nagging thought in my mind that, oh, I've got stuff to do when I get home. I don't want all my stuff screaming at me. You left me still to do. So I feel like the less I have to manage, the better off I am because I do a whole lot better with less stuff. There is a decluttering technique called hush your house or quiet your house. Myquillen Smith, the cozy minimalist, this is what she calls this, and she calls it backwards decluttering. So the idea is where you take that room that's screaming at you with all the stuff and all the clutter in it, and in one fell swoop, you just take everything out of it. And then what you do after you've got everything out of the room, then you let it sit for 24 hours empty. Now, I did this recently to my den because my den was getting pretty cluttered because I'm Swedish death cleaning my whole house. And I had to go somewhere with all that stuff because I'm saving it to donate. So I was kind of gathering it, and a lot of it was getting gathered, a bunch of it in the garage, and then I had a bunch of it gathered in the den, along with the toys and some photo albums that I had stacked up in there by the toy box. And so it was becoming a catch-all for my Swedish death cleaning. And then of course my grandkids were still trying to play in there. And bless their hearts, they were having to, just move stuff around so they could even play. Terrible Nina I was. But anyway, I decided I'm going to hush this room. It was time. I needed to get rid of. Like when I would walk through that room, there was no peace in there whatsoever. For one, because it was a catch-all. All right, so the idea is you take everything out. I took everything out of the room except the sofa and the love seat. I took some things off of the wall. Now we've got one wall that's full of deer mounts because we're hunters. And so I was not about to take all of those down, but you can do that if you so choose. Take everything out of the room. I didn't really have any place to go with my furniture, so I left the two big pieces in there and then those, the big deer mounts on the wall. I took everything out and I just I let it sit empty for more than 24 hours because I just couldn't get back to it in 24 hours. So, but you know what? It was so wonderful to walk through that empty room. There's two doors that goes from the den and well, anyway. So I would go in there and it just felt like it was so peaceful. And here's what it makes you do. It makes you very choosy about what you put back in that room because you don't want to clutter it up again. And you don't want to have to put a bunch of stuff in there that is going to be more than you can manage. We've just got to keep in a room, just keep what we can manage. So that's what I did. I got everything I chose. Quite a bit less went in there then came out of there. And so what I did put back in there, I didn't put the video arcade game because the kids, they don't play that anymore. So we didn't put that back in there. A lot of the things I took out that go to the consignment shop. And another thing that I did, I'm very much into photo albums, making sure, because when my grandkids do see the photo albums, sometimes they're not put in a place where they really notice. If they happen on them, they'll sit and look at them. So I'm going to be more intentional about photo albums. So I put those on the toy box so they could see those. Another thing that I noticed was that buffalo hide, that rug, it was too busy for my eyes. And the room just looks, it feels so much more spacious without the buffalo hide in there. So I'm not going to put that in there. And I still have yet to put the, behind my love seat, I'm going to put a wall hanging of the kids and grandkids. So I'm going to do something with pictures back there. But I will say, oh, and then my lamp that was my grandma's, I took it out of in here out of the office and put it in there because I'm just showcasing some of my grandparents' things, and I don't know, they're special. So I put that in there, and it's so peaceful. It's such a peaceful room. I love it. So I'll do another room, maybe this one. This one really doesn't have, this office doesn't have too much stuff in it, but it is so peaceful once you take everything out and then very intentionally put stuff back in there. And I very, very much love it. I highly, highly recommend that you hush your house. Look up, I will link to the article from Myquillen Smith on her website so you can read that for yourself. And if you need more motivation, I will link to my video on Swedish death cleaning, organizing before dying, and then the 5 steps to Swedish death cleaning. And you will enjoy those. Thanks for watching and enjoy hushing your house.